The first scene when the Phantom appears is electric. And every time I would do that, chills just went down your back, thinking, I can't believe I'm doing this. I can't believe that I am the Phantom of the Opera. Don't push it down. Let it down. I actually auditioned for musicals in high school just to get to meet people because I didn't know many people coming from a private school. And I auditioned my sophomore year and I got the lead. We did Grease and I got to be Zuko and I got addicted to musicals and singing and, you know, never thinking I was going to make a living as singing because all I wanted to do was play baseball and go be an insurance salesman just like my dad. I auditioned for Lubbock Summer Rep. Going into tech after my senior year in high school. I sang On the Street Where You Live. And when I finished, I see this man walking down the side of the aisle really quickly. So I went to my left and I walked down and he goes, hi, I'm John Gillis. I'm the head of the voice department at Texas Tech. We're looking forward to having you at Texas Tech and be in the voice department. I said, well, I'm actually majoring in business. He goes, you're what? And I said, I'm majoring in business. I just love singing, you know. He said, okay, well, I would, if you don't have a voice teacher, I would love to teach you next year. I said, absolutely. And I later realized it was the best thing I could have because Mr. Gillis became a second father to me. What he taught me is that music can change someone's life. They come in one person to the show and they see the show and their life is changed for the better. In 1989, I went and saw The Phantom of the Opera and it was incredible. We saw it on Broadway, and I saw the role of Phantom, and I looked at my mom, and it totally overtook me. My dad, the eternal optimist, and he said, go for it. But if you're going to go for it all the way. And I did. That next spring, it was the spring right before we got married, they're having an audition call for Phantom of the Opera in Switzerland. And they had me sing Music of the Night. So I literally sang the first 2 lines of it. And the guy stopped me and goes, thank you very much. And an hour later, they called me and offered me the swing position and Phantom cover in Basel, Switzerland, as I'm bartending at this hotel. So I called Jeannie, my wife, and I said, I just got offered Phantom of the Opera. It's in Switzerland, 6 weeks after we get married.
I'll have to say, like, I wasn't mentally prepared to move to Europe because all I was preparing for was to get married. So, you know, like, I was like, wedding this, wedding that. So then I'll never forget the day David moved. There's just something to be said about youth, right? We chartered a boat in Lake Michigan and went fishing in the morning because he wanted to do that before he went. And then he got on a plane and moved. I
was a Phantom alternate and swing for the show, which meant I had 1 show a week as the Phantom every week, no matter what. And if the Phantom got sick, I would do the Phantom for him when he was sick. I ended up doing probably 350 Phantoms that year. The first scene when the Phantom appears is electric. And I remember I walk up into, it's an actual piece of set. You walk up into the step and there's 2 white marks, you put your feet because the spotlights have to be perfect on your face.
I'll never forget when David walked out on stage. I was like, oh, you know, I've seen Phantom before. It's just a show. It's like the most overwhelming feeling I've ever had. And of course I cried.
That was the best feeling in the world. And every time I would do that, chills just went down your back, thinking, I can't believe I'm doing this. I can't believe that I am the Phantom of the Opera. Every single time I did it, 1,500 times.
It's like one of those almost surreal moments where like every emotion goes through you and you're like, oh my gosh, that's David. You know, everything he's ever worked for, and here it is.
I've been to Basel, Switzerland. For 2 years, I was in Hamburg, Germany for 2 years. I've been in New York City for 6 years. I've played all over North America with the North American tour, including Canada. I've been to at least 30 cities over a course of 3 or 4 years, having subbed in on the tour. But in 2017, everything stopped.
When he first got diagnosed, I was in 7th grade, I think. And I didn't really understand. I just knew cancer was bad, and I didn't understand exactly what was happening with his body or anything like that.
My right tonsil was swollen, just my right tonsil, and I went into my ENT and they took the tonsil out, and it came back. The pathology came back with mantle cell lymphoma.
I mean, I'll never forget. I was at work and he called and he's like, pathology came back, and it wasn't even in my thought process that it was cancer. I mean, that wasn't the reason he had his tonsil taken out, was to see if there was cancer. And that one, I'll have to say, really was an all-time low, because we had no idea.
It was very weird just having your life be so up and down and all over the place, and it felt like it was just a cyclone going through everything.
They couldn't find any other cancer on my PET scan that was present, so they said, well, let's do a watch and wait. And I made it 5 years, and it was, every scan was a little nervous, thinking, is my run going to end? Luckily, my faith in God brought me through it. Good friends brought me through all those anxiety, my wife especially. And then my left tonsil swelled up. I took a PET scan, and the lymphoma had progressed, so I had to start treatment. So I've been on treatment, not chemotherapy, but immunotherapy. And the immunotherapy is working so well that there was no evidence of any cancer, of any lymphoma on my PET scan, which is miraculous. When you're the Phantom on stage, you walk off, you're back to David. When I got diagnosed, I can't walk off the stage. It's real life, it's there with me all the time. But it can't define me. I can't let cancer define who I am. It's what I have. It's not who I am.
We've had those conversations. What would you do if you couldn't sing? And there is no plan B. There was never a plan B for him.
The real reason it's going on is the people around you. It's the relationships you build. The gratitude that God gave me something that I get to share with people that can make them joyous or happy or sad or bring out emotions in them that they were afraid to bring out in the mundane life. And every time, as it went on, I knew that it was going to end. So every time, you never knew when that would be your last Phantom. And that's the glory of what the Phantom was. It's shown me stuff I would never get the opportunity to see had I not been in Phantom of the Opera. It's led me to places I'd never go, people I'd never get a chance to meet. And because of having my incredible training at Texas Tech, that's what afforded me to be able to be the Phantom. Had it not been for my training at Texas Tech, I would never have had that opportunity as well.